The blood bond economy is about to change a whole lot. Crytek released a video and outlined some changes in the 113 patch notes about tweaks coming to blood bonds, and although I'm grateful that you clicked this video, I also recommend you check those sources too, just in case I miss some context or say something wrong. You can go to that video or the patch notes as the source of this information. But let's get into those changes from the video and the notes, and not to get you too excited, but I even made a spreadsheet. So, Crytek wants to stress that blood bonds are a vital revenue source for the development and operation of Hunt Showdown. It is the only premium currency, so Crytek relies on game sales, DLC sales, and blood bonds, but this rework is targeted at fixing some issues with blood bond distribution and use. The first section is about the blood bond packs, which you can buy in the store tab. Crytek is ending the current discount on the 3 largest packs, but those packs will still have the bonus blood bonds. They are also adjusting the pricing across regions and currencies for the base game of Hunt Showdown and blood bond packs based on Steam's recommendations. I'm not sure if that means cheaper or more expensive, but that also might vary by your region, so maybe check that out in your own currency. So back to the packs then. Currently these are the listed prices, and on those last 3 packs, Crytek is removing that discount, but keeping the bonus blood bonds. So it's probably just easiest to look at this in a spreadsheet. So here's one I made real quick. Here is the blood bond packs, current price, the current blood bond per dollar, the new price, and then the new blood bond per dollar. And as you can see, once they take away those discounts, you don't get quite as many blood bonds per dollar, but it's still a better value to buy them in bulk than to buy them 300 blood bonds at a time. So the bigger packs are still a better value per dollar, but not as much as they were before. Again, feel free to do that math in your own currencies. The next section is the blood bond spend, and you may remember in previous streams, and I think in the developer roadmap as well, that Crytek wanted to rework the way blood bonds are spent and earned in game, and as part of that, that means removing the blood bond requirement for removing traits, respeccing health bars, and cleaning weapons. Well, apparently the work on those systems is done, and Crytek is removing the blood bonds there. You can respec your hunter's health bars at any time in the menu before or after a match for free. It still costs a point to restore a spent health chunk if you get down during a match, but you can respec your health bars as you see fit or for whatever might benefit your loadout. Another change, now when you remove a trait, you can do it for free, but you get back 1 less trait point than the value of the trait that you remove. So if you remove a trait that's worth 5 points like Physician, you get 4 trait points back. If you remove a trait worth 1 point like Adrenaline, you get no trait points back, but you get that spot for better traits, which is especially nice if you have a hunter that you've leveled up a bunch. It's a pretty simple system, and it seems fair to me. And then for weapon cleaning, you used to be able to clean dirty weapons with blood bonds, but now your weapons will be automatically cleaned when you return to the lobby for no charge. Scopes on contraband weapons are still cracked, but the mud you gain when you are downed in a fight is automatically cleaned as well when you return to the lobby. The next section is on earning blood bonds in game, and it's probably the most controversial. Crytek is removing the post-match accolade rewards of 1 to 3 blood bonds, as well as the 25 blood bond reward for consecutive bounty extractions for 5 days in a row. But the first bounty extraction for each hunter for experience and hunt dollars is staying, just not the blood bond reward. However, you can still earn blood bonds by playing because Crytek is doubling the challenge's completion reward from 25 blood bonds to 50 blood bonds. Said simply, you won't be earning as many blood bonds, especially in a per match basis. The challenge system will be one of the only ways to earn blood bonds for free, and we will discuss the alternative in the next section. It's not all bad news though. Let's talk about the random reroll mechanics. Crytek is still committed to removing the gambling-like systems, so from update 113 on, the black market will no longer have a blood bond reroll, and instead offer a free daily reroll. That's the system that always bothered me the most, and I'm glad to see that change. Also, previously you could reroll your hunters with blood bonds, but that too is being replaced, so now you can reshuffle for hunters using hunt dollars. The first one is still free, and then consecutive rerolls increase in price by 100 hunt dollars, maxing out at 500 hunt dollars. So you get a free reroll, and then it's 100, 200, 300, 400, and then the ceiling at 500, until you enter a match and the system is reset like it currently does. And then one last random system, the Dark Tribute will still reward blood bonds as part of its reward pool. On to the last section, which is the Battle Pass, and it's actually seeing a price decrease. That is, it will be cheaper. The summer event will cost 1,000 blood bonds to activate the premium reward track and gain extra boosts, which is less than the historic 1,500 blood bond price of previous events. Okay, that covers all the changes, and I think the whole conversation has brought up a lot of trauma for everyone, so let's just unpack that. I want to explain how I view this in my personal opinion, and you can decide for yourself how you feel, and I think that's totally fair. So let me go ahead and discredit myself. I'm a Crytek partner. I make content about Hunt Showdown, which means I rely partially on its existence, and I also just really enjoy playing the game. I really like playing Hunt Showdown. The downside to these changes is that we won't be earning as many free blood bonds from playing the game, which, since it's been this way for so long, I understand will make a lot of people upset. I've seen quite a few people say that without the blood bond rewards for accolades, there's little incentive to play the game. And if that's true for you, that's okay. That is a totally valid feeling. But I think these changes better position blood bonds as an optional premium currency that players can use to purchase optional premium content. I understand that everyone likes free stuff, so do I, naturally. But Crytek isn't a non-profit. It's a company with employees on payroll, they have bills, they have development costs, they have taxes. I'm not saying poor little Crytek, but I am saying we want Hunt to exist, which means we want Crytek to exist, which means we want Crytek to be profitable to continue justifying the development of Hunt Showdown. And Crytek can profit from Hunt in 3 ways: game sales, DLC sales, and blood bond sales. And as much as we hold up game sales as this sacred threshold, that means Crytek has to keep selling the game. But to keep attention coming to the game, they need to develop it, make new content, improve their servers, get better hit registration, fix the bugs, make a new map, create more onboarding features. The list goes on and on. But because game sales aren't that reliable if you're not churning out new content every week, Crytek will naturally have to rely on DLC sales, and now more so on blood bond sales. But it's become a meme that Crytek just keeps releasing DLC. And so taken together, the anti-blood bond changes crowd are saying, improve your game, make new content, but stop selling me DLC and don't take away my free premium currency that I use to purchase your optional premium skins. So look, I agree 100% that consumers should be conscious of their spending habits and decide how they spend their paychecks. And there have been some DLC decisions in the past that Crytek has taken that I disagree with and wouldn't personally spend my money on. But as a fan of the game, I see a lot of new things on the horizon, like the new wild target, meaningful updates with new features like the shooting range, which doubles as a PvP arena, and a new map Distantly. There were some periods in time where I openly wondered what Crytek was doing. Like after Trader's Moon, I was just kind of scratching my head. But in my view, removing blood bonds from the gameplay stuff like respecking and removing traits was an act of good faith that Crytek doesn't want to make a pay-to-win game. They don't want a slot machine in the black market. What they do want, I think, as a consumer and a fan, is clearer boundaries for players. You can buy the game if you want to, you can buy the DLC if you like it, and you can buy blood bonds if you agree on their value. We can look at the Battle Pass and see that the gameplay related content is on the free track, and the optional legendary charm is on the premium track, which to me is a fair cadence. If you enjoy the systems of the game, meaning you enjoy the gameplay, you will continue to have access to those. If you want new skins for your hunters, you can choose to purchase those, but with these changes, blood bonds are more clearly an optional revenue stream. You can support further development of the game by buying stuff, or you can decide Crytek is too greedy and doesn't deserve more of your money and don't buy stuff, which is totally fine. But in that exchange, you acknowledge Crytek doesn't owe you free skins. And that's the hard part to reckon with these changes. So hopefully that was thorough enough. I always get knocked when my answers are too short, but this one was kind of long. The TLDL is it seems Crytek is on a new chapter of development for Hunt Showdown. They have cleaned up one of their weaker revenue streams to fund that development, and now players can choose if they want to help fund that development or not. And that concludes my thoughts on it. Let me know yours down below, whether you agree or disagree with these Blood Bond changes. And until the next video, goodbye.